But I'm back week on Tuesday. We're going to Maldives tomorrow.
Where are you going?
Maldives.
The Maldives, very nice.
Yeah,
Isn't that a long way away?
Yeah,
just off the coast of India.
It's the bloody Indian Ocean. It's just you say it like I'm popping down to Blackpool or something.
I'm just dipping down the supermarket.
Yeah. Oh,
How long are you going for, Jim?
We're going to go for a week.
A week. Right, lovely. Sounds good.
Raymondo.
Hello, how are you?
All right.
Good.
Where's the anchor man?
Well, yeah, where is the anchorman? Yeah.
You gotta fucking sack him, John.
No, I can't do that.
Why?
because we need him.
Who's that? Pete Stevens is still playing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pete Stevens he needs to get there. He needs to get that fixed. He's got BBC access.
Yeah.
Hello, John.
Hi.
John.
Good to see you.
Rudy.
Evening, John.
Good evening, all.
Evening.
Evening.
Yeah.
So,
I think I might-
enjoy yourself, Jimmy. Have a nice one.
Yeah, I'll do my best.
Yeah. Have you had to do any tests before you go, or?
No, they scrapped it all 2 weeks back.
Right.
I mean, we've got to be fully vaccinated, but no more tests now.
No locator form or anything like that.
I tested positive this week.
You as well. Wow, you're falling like flies.
But I've been testing every day. So was it since Tuesday? I think it was Monday or Tuesday. And the last 2 days, the positive, the what's name line that you have, has been very, very faint. The positive line has been very faint. So obviously it's only just a mild attack, but I don't feel any. I've got none of the symptoms, and I feel okay. Don't feel anything different, sort of things. I've just got to isolate now for 10 days, I think it was.
No, that's reduced now, John.
Well, it come up on my when I put it in, it came up on my phone on the app.
I know, but when I had it, if you're negative on the 6th and 7th day, you can go out. But that was under the old regime, because you don't even need to register it now.
No,
in fact, you don't even need to isolate now.
Well, no, you don't.
Total joke.
You don't, but you can still pass it on to other people. That's
well,
the thing.
Exactly. This is why it's a big joke, John.
So I'm isolating just to be on the safe side.
Yeah.
Because obviously somebody wasn't that I caught it from. I haven't been out that much, and when I've been out, I've always worn a mask in the shops, etc. But anyway, there we are.
Blackpool Bob's got it as well.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Jay. Welcome to the Ship Life. So we have some breaking news pertaining.
What the heck is that? Is it you, Gizzy?
Yeah. So about some passengers stuck on a cruise ship.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Tell me which one.
That's what I'm trying to find out.
Iona, there's people on Iona in Southampton.
All right.
I thought you'd have the second half of the Liverpool Forest game, Gizzy.
Kicked off, John. It's kicked
It's just about to kick off now.
Okay. If you could keep me informed, Steve, because I can't get it on my third device.
Yeah, Jim. No, we're going on the Regal Princess again, Jim.
Lovely.
We've got to get a test done 24 hours before we go to get on the ship. You know, like they tested us in Southampton.
Yeah, they tested us right before we boarded last time, didn't they? Now 24 hours.
They do that now in Italy, but they charge you $50 for it.
Oh, right.
And I think if you test positive, Steve, you get a refund on your cruise.
I hope so.
Well, so do I hope so. Yeah. Well,
how do I get on from fucking Italy then?
I know all about this. So how do you think? How do you think I feel about what we're doing? I know.
Anyway.
Okay, is Pete back on with us now? Can you hear us, Pete?
He came in.
He still can't hear us. He's got issues with his. He can hear us, but
we can't hear you.
Yeah. So
No.
So it's got to be something you got to fix your end, Pete.
Or at least his mouthpiece, at least.
Well, I think he's got a son who's a tech whiz. Call him up.
Don't like the way you spoke to him then.
Pete, nod your head if you can hear us.
He can hear us. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We can't hear you.
Yeah. So
Pete, drop your trousers if you can hear us. Oh, no.
Evening, David.
Evening, James. Good to see you. Did you enjoy your football?
Yeah, we played very well, but I said we needed all the time. We needed the third goal, and we missed so many chances. And I thought if they get one, we're up against it. But we held out.
Did you go and travel into Europe during the week?
Yes, I went to France on Thursday for the day.
Lovely. Flipping heck, that must have been amazing.
Yeah, we had a fantastic day, to be fair. The weather was super.
Yeah.
And the atmosphere was, well, probably best I've ever been anywhere, to be fair.
It's gone again. Angelo tried to come in, but he seems to have disappeared.
No, he said he's back. He should be coming. I clicked him on.
There he is.
Coming in.
We've got a hint to lavender tonight, anyway.
Yeah, nice bit of the Locatelli.
Ciao, Angelo.
Ciao, Angelo.
Oh, I can't wait for Taffy to come on.
Ciao bello, come stai?
Bene.
Hey, yeah, you enjoy the rugby?
I got a message for Steve. I did send a message to Ralph.
Oh yeah.
I sent it yesterday. I haven't got an answer, but he knows that you're coming.
We may get some flowers in the cabin.
Is Angelo aware of the rugby yesterday?
No, he's not.
No, I don't follow that stuff.
Who's going to tell him?
Watch all those guys running around the field with the ball, Angelo. No, all those big guys.
An unusual shaped ball.
Who's going to inform him then?
What?
Pete's coming in again.
I had my family here, so
yeah.
They're leaving today for Italy.
Oh, you went to Las Vegas, didn't you?
Yes, of course I was there. Yes, very nice.
When does David Eggy visit, Angelo?
Hold on a second. I'll see him on Saturday. I'll see him in San Francisco. We are doing a cruise 15 days. Then he's coming to my house for 15 days. After the 11.
Right.
Okay. It'd be great if you could be in a situation where you can get on in the crew bar with him.
Yes, I talked to him about it. He's okay. Yes, fine. Yeah, we will. After the 11, the 11, I think, is on a Monday. That will be the following Sunday. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the day I get back. The day before.
Oh, okay. So we get to see.
The 16th, I come back.
Yeah. Okay.
So
long as we get there.
Yes.
Stephen, on your cruise, we believe you will not be able to do a live report from Naples in the morning because you're going on a tour. Is that correct? For the Australian crew bar. But what's the excuse in the evening crew bar? We haven't heard that.
What's the time difference with Italy? An hour or two?
Doesn't matter.
Would you like it? Yeah.
No, I don't think there is any. One, I think one.
1 hour. We'll be going to dinner. We'll be going to dinner at 8 o'clock, Dave.
I believe. I don't know, Gizzy. Do you remember? We can book what time we want, can't we, for dinner?
Yes.
I've already booked it. Ease up, Dave. Ease up. If he's having dinner, he can't come in the crew bar. I get it.
Okay.
One knows what it's like. You'll have to bloody her indoors down your bloody.
Yeah.
Are we on holidays? Are you talking to your mates on the bloody telephone again?
There's nothing wrong with that, Steve, is there?
No,
And Dave, here comes Salty Sea Dog, so please talk to him.
Oh, blimey, I didn't know he had so many tattoos.
That's all.
Get off the handle.
Yeah. Oh, Locatelli, look, Locatelli's disappeared round one of the many stairwells he's got. You've only got the one, haven't you, Zachary?
Just
the one.
Just the one.
That's not even my staircase. I'm actually house sitting for somebody on the weekends.
Oh, really?
You only do it on the weekends, do you, Max?
I only do it on the weekends, yeah.
We thought you lived in a mansion.
Good evening, David.
Yeah.
Evening.
Hello.
It's actually well, it's called a small cabin, but it's not a small cabin. It's a big cabin.
That's good. It's gone there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dave, can you say hello to somebody, please?
To who?
Is Dave frozen now? Bloody hell.
Good evening, Salty Sea Dog.
Thank you, Steve.
It's lovely. I was frozen, Colonel. I was waiting.
I know.
In. Right. Yeah.
I
Dave,
always said it was ice cold,
Salty Dave. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Yeah, very good.
Very good. That's all right. And Hilda, are you all good?
I'm good, yeah.
Yeah.
You enjoy the rugby yesterday?
Yeah, but that's not the page. Go, Lee.
Yeah, you know, Blackpool Bob's not coming in tonight. He's feeling a bit rough with he's got touch of the COVID.
That's the picture. It should be this one. Go on, hit Lee.
Pete Stevens has got his son on the job. Or he did have it.
Again.
This is supposed to be a BBC technician.
Well,
professional.
He is, Steve. But let's just give him a break, you know.
I'd like to hear as much seagoing lingo as possible because I miss it terribly and I can't say these things today because nobody understands what I'm talking about.
That's the idea,
Ray.
Okay, Pete Stevens.
The first thing is, Ray, it's not lingo, it's Polari, dear.
Polari, yes.
You might have to remind me on some that I haven't said them for so
Pete,
long.
we got you, Pete.
Bona Polari. Chief engineer to come up.
I told you he'd fix it.
We got him up from the engine room.
Yeah.
Well done.
Every time my girls ask me when dinner's ready, I say butcher shop cooking.
What for the Bonajari?
Yeah.
Well, probably the other man's cooking it.
Other man.
You tell them, Raymond, before you have your dinner, you have to just Soraya.
Yeah.
And put a bit of slap on that coddy.
As long as you got your,
a lot of this.
Make sure you got your Bona bats on as well.
Yeah, I always have my
on the end of the Bona lallies.
I always have my Bona bats. I could send you a photo now. I don't have it with me, but I'll send you a photo for next week about Bona
It's so nice to see all these butch homies on here tonight.
Anyone in particular, John?
We're still watching the match, Skizzy.
Yeah. Still no score.
Okay.
We were brought up in the school of Polari.
Yeah.
Weren't we?
Yeah. Oh dear.
What would mother say?
Before they let us join.
What would mother say?
Yeah.
What would mother say? Yeah.
What? Right now, here's a question for Gizzy.
Oh.
Gizzy, obviously, I met up with Scotty just over a week ago when he was down there visiting his sister, and we went out for lunch, which was great. It was really nice seeing him and Jill. She's lovely, and Pat was there to keep an eye on me, obviously. But was it the Aronse that you first met, and were you bellboys then, or what?
No, I first met Scotty on the Aronse, and we were both public room stewards. And then I got promoted. I ended up in the Burns room just before I got off. There was myself, Scotty, David Hale, lad from Suffolk, Peter Franklin, Yogi. I don't know if anybody ever met Yogi, did they? Peter Law.
Mm-hmm.
And we worked with O'Dowd, Phil O'Dowd, and Billy Goldie.
Bill Goldie,
Right.
Bill Goldie was on the Canberra.
That's right, yeah.
What happened to Pete? For the guy with the big glasses, you mentioned him, Pete.
Peter Franklin.
Yeah.
He went on the Canberra, I think, didn't he?
Yeah, he was on the Canberra, but I don't know what happened to him.
No, I don't.
When I was on there, when we used to do the refits, there was myself, Pete Franklin, Slim, Ken Lambourne, the writer, and Sam Jackson used to go over to Jersey for about 4 days during the Canberra refit. And then I left Canberra, went to see Princess, and I just don't know what happened to Pete.
No, I haven't seen him since the Ronce days. Not heard from him or anything.
He was definitely on Canberra. I don't know
I think
whether
he was.
how
Yeah,
long he stayed there.
yeah.
He was in the crow's nest.
We had a wonderful DP on there named Dickie Parker. Did anybody ever sail with him?
Salty
No, I
Seagull,
don't
did
recall
you
him.
sail with Dickie Parker?
No, I never heard of him actually.
No.
What year was that?
That would have been about 73, 74.
Oh, just about the time I was joining then, Gizzy.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I didn't know.
Little fellow, public school boy.
No.
Never heard the name.
No, I've never heard the name.
Welcome to Noel. Sorry, we let you down yesterday in the rugby. Is he still on? Can he hear us?
He's got a Pete Stevens problem, has he?
Pete,
No,
you can hear us, can't you? Pete,
You better call Tinker.
Is that where it's going to be known as now, a Pete Stevens problem?
He's got a touch of the Pete Stevens.
Yeah, I better say the baby duck.
Yeah, he's got a bit of the BBCs.
He's
Okay.
got PS.
Okay, so Dave, here's what professionals do. You say, you carry on and we'll get back to Noel as soon as he starts talking.
Hello, everybody.
Hey!
No, do you mind? We're going to get back to you in a minute. All right. Good to see you, Noel.
You just said about a Pete Stevens problem. I was thinking about how ridiculous it was that we ended up with nicknames and all the crazy nicknames that people ended up with. And Hilda, you might remember this. On one of the crew rounds, one of the cooks got written up in the crew rounds report that he had dirty bulkheads. And from that point on, he was called Dirty Bulkheads.
Yeah. I don't remember that.
I do. That was similar time to when Caveman was caught under the daybed, which
sleeping under the daybed.
Yeah. Please remove printer from under daybed.
Yeah.
On the rounds report.
That was so funny.
I do remember. Yeah. That was good. That was excellent. So.
He gave me a bit of stick last week, Caveman did, because Arsenal beat us.
Oh yes.
He likes the Arsenal, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
I've got a question for the Aussie crew, Bar, which I didn't attend this morning, and Dave and the crew did it really professionally. And of course, there was a huge attendance of two Aussies, but that's beside the point. My question is for Ray. They were talking about a bellboy. Am I correct, Dave, saying Ray Pritchard, who was on the Sun Princess?
Yeah, Ray, Doris's mate. Doris Norris's mate.
I thought I knew him as a public room steward, I think. Is that right?
Okay, well.
Yeah, that was probably, he was on Oriana with us, Jim, at one time.
Right, yeah.
Me and him we used to play quoits together as partners.
Well, how come we don't remember him on the Sun Princess?
I don't remember him on the Sun, but I certainly sailed with him on either Canberra or Oriana.
Yeah, I don't remember him either.
He went there as a bellboy he went there as a bellboy about 75, I think.
Yeah,
his
I
first
didn't start till 78, so it must have been pre our time.
Right. Right up until I came out of the pub, which was 3 years ago, I used to get a Christmas card every year from Schooley Hall, you know. You remember Dave?
Yes. And are you in touch with him? Is anybody in touch with him?
Well, so I used to get a Christmas card from him and send him one every year. And then when I came out of the pub, I lost my address book. But
right,
he was living. He'd moved up, I think, to near Whitby, but he used to live in I think it was Ellisclough, just outside of Hull. And then, I lost touch with him because I came out of the pub and I lost all my address book and everything, which is why I never sent him Christmas cards for a couple of years. Although I've recovered
I'm even more embarrassed about my relationship with Dave because when we were bellboys, we were home on leave, and he was closer with Malcolm than he was with me. And I went to his wedding, and the night before his wedding, we stayed in a hotel and we got all absolutely shit-faced. And in the middle of the night, like 10, 11 o'clock at night, when I was 3 sheets of the wind, he announced that I was going to be his best man.
Oh, wow.
So I was his best man.
Really?
And I haven't really been in touch with him. He sent me a Christmas card at my parents' address for years and years and years. And I always told him I was a terrible writer. And he used to write all the time. Every week he'd write to his family and his parents. And I never wrote. And one time he actually wrote out about a dozen postcards for me. All I had to do, it basically wrote, I was having a lovely time, or everyone was different. And all I had to do was actually sign them and put them in the mailbox. And I ended up taking them home and giving them to my family.
I was quite sorry I lost touch with him, actually, because every year for 25, 30 years, I used to get a Christmas card. I used to send him one, he sent me one. Him and Sally, Dave and Sally Hall every year.
Dave and Sally Hall, yeah.
Hi, Ollie. Ollie's
It's
back.
Schoolie. Ollie.
Hi, Ollie.
Hey, Ollie.
Hi, Ollie.
Right, your hair's grown, Ollie.
How you doing?
Your hair's grown.
You're all right.
Yeah, I know.
Hi, Ollie. What?
Oh,
Is it
yeah.
going back?
Ollie, have you been put on a stretch on something to stretch you? You know, like they did back in the olden days. Or have you sitting on a high stool, on a high crew bar stool?
I'm on a high chair.
On
Yeah,
your
he definitely looks. He looks
no, we prefer the other one. It's all right. That's great. That's great. Yeah.
So how's everyone? All right?
Good.
We're all right. We're all right.
Can I just follow up with respect to last week? Dave, as you haven't been forthcoming with the selfie that you took of you wearing the sunglasses.
Here we go.
So that I could give you guys a better idea of what it actually looked like, I decided to make my own selfie. Unfortunately, my sunglasses aren't big enough, nor my nose. So I had to abandon that idea.
Thank goodness for that.
Are you saying Dave's got a big nose?
He's got a big nose.
The one with the big danglers on it.
Yeah.
Was that you in the life of Brian? Hey, was that you in the life of Brian?
Something like that. Yeah, lovely view. Yeah. Hey, when that Life of Brian came out, what year was that? Because we were on the ships and we did see it.
Yeah,
we went to see it in Victoria.
We all went to see it in Victoria. And Ollie, you were the instigator of that because you had a girlfriend in Victoria and their parents invited us all back to their house for a barbecue in the afternoon. I'm sure it was you.
Sunday lunch.
Sunday lunch, yeah. Sunday lunch. And we brought all our own booze. And I remember Colin leading a rendition of Bloody Mary is the Girl I Love from this quiet neighborhood balcony. It got a little bit out of hand. And then we drove into town, and it was the first time I'd ever been to a theater in Canada, and you bought the tickets like prior to the movie starting. And I don't know if anybody remembers this, but there was a pool hall next door, and we went into the pool hall because it was about another half an hour before the movie started. and Fiji was absolutely paralytic, and he couldn't even stand. And I took Fiji outside, and I stood with him at the sidewalk, and I tried several times to hail a cab, and every time they caught sight of Fiji, they would drive away.
They ran away.
I finally got a taxi driver to stop, and I asked him to take him back to the Esquimalt graving dock, and I gave him a whole bunch of cash, like way more than what the taxi fare was. And they took him back. The taxi driver took him off, and I found out later that when they got to the dock, he was so drunk he couldn't walk up the gangway, and they actually had to put him in one of the buckets and lift him onto the forecastle with a crane. I don't know if any of you remember that, but that's how. And then we all went in and watched Bloody Mary. We watched Life of Brian, and we were all sitting in the back. And because we were British and we understood all the jokes, we were just laughing hysterically, and we all joined in at the end. Look on the bright side of life.
Yeah. Hang about a sec. Wasn't this conversation to Ollie and he took off?
Ollie.
What about James?
Because I have an Ollie story.
What it is, when people start talking about me, I seem to disappear.
I have an Ollie story.
I remember it was Sunday lunch, and I felt so bad because we were way more than they'd expected.
Yeah.
Okay, here's my Ollie story. We were flying back at probably, I don't know, maybe San Juan, and for some reason, it was just you and me, Ollie. I don't know what was going on.
Yeah.
You know how they staggered leaves and that? And we were on the plane, and I complained about being bloody drowsy. And that was the first time that I'd ever had an illegal drug in my life, because whatever he gave me, I was wide awake for the next 10 hours.
Okay, you Ollie.
Yeah.
Ah, that wasn't me.
Yes, it was, Al.
Oh. Now you know why I disappear when people start talking about me.
Yeah,
that's why.
Yeah. Carry on, Dave. Keep it going.
Well, they're talking about the flights going home. We heard Hilda mentioning about was it the Fijian band that was on the flight home the other week? You know, when you went home for your dad, sadly, that was on a flight home, wasn't it?
Yeah, from Los Angeles.
Yeah, that is. But talking about, well, Pete, you'll have flown back from Australia, obviously many times. Have you got a story that comes to mind?
Carry on. I was just trying to think of one.
Right. Okay. Well, we'll ask others as well. I've got one. Do just keep thinking. But I remember we flew back from Australia, and that would have been off the Sea Princess. And obviously, you bought your souvenirs at the airport, like last minute thing before you come home. And I bought this koala bear, which you do. And we got on the plane. And it was in the days when you had each section of the plane had a screen for the movie. It wasn't on the back of the seat. It was, just one screen per section. And they were showing Watership Down with all the flipping rabbits in. Well, of course, we'd all bought these koala bears, and we were near the front, near the screen. So every time the rabbits came up, all of a sudden there were these koala bears appearing on the screen as well. Until we got told by the stewardesses, they said, if you don't flip and stop it, you're going to be, no more drink for you, So we decided to hold back. But yeah, we had the koala bears appearing in Watership Down for about half an hour.
I could tell you a tale about me flying home, but you can read it in Pete's book.
Oh yeah, there's a promotion for Pete's book. So there's 3 chapters. Oh, hang on, let's get Taffy's glass. It never had them on this morning. More evening, Taffy.
Evening, Taff.
Hey, Taffy. How are you?
There he is. Good boy. Well, welcome back again. Taffy was down under this morning as well. And he's wearing his Italian rugby shirt now, which is lovely. Looks good on you, Taffy.
Enough said about that. I just watched the replay of it. Not the replay, but the the summing up, you know, the
Yeah.
usual stuff after a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the third. It's like we've had the country's gone. It's absolute uproar everywhere. You don't talk to anybody otherwise.
I'm flying your colours, Angelo. You see that, Angelo? I'm flying your colours.
Oh, I see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Angelo.
What was going on? What was going on with Italian?
He doesn't even know what happened.
I know he does. I know he doesn't. But I must let you into a secret. On my edit of the Aussie Crew Bar, for the first time ever, and I must say myself, this is brilliant. When you watch it, Taffy, you're gonna love it. As soon as Taffy comes on, the Welsh national anthem is half in the background the whole time. It's good. You'll see it.
And what is the other half? The Italian national?
No. What? When I put those photographs of his Taffmobile, the red one, that comes on loud. It's pretty cool.
Oh, great.
Right. I look forward to that. I would like to speak to Angelo though.
Yes, speak to me.
That's a real achievement for Italy yesterday. Italy haven't been had any much success playing in what was the 5 nations is now the 6 nations: England, Scotland, Ireland, Wales, France, and now Italy. But yesterday they came to Cardiff.
Yeah.
And they played out of their skin.
Oh my God.
Fair play. They won their first game in
Ever.
36 matches.
Oh my God.
On Welsh. On a holy Welsh ground. So I shall be going to Italy.
Yes, I saw
this
that.
time next year to watch them play Wales in Rome.
Oh, yes, I saw you're going to Rome. Yes, next year. Yeah.
And maybe, why not? Wouldn't that be a lovely visit for you?
I'm not into sport.
Oh, there's plenty to do in Rome.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
The game is only an hour and a half.
I'll be in Rome. I'll be in Rome in September this year.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, it's just Mr. Sitter, John.
Yeah, I got it on my telly now, on my device. Yeah.
Wonderful. Hey, but no, so Angelo, you say we've got the pleasure of Miss Heggie coming on, hopefully on the Crew Bar in a couple of weeks' time.
Yes. After the 11. 11 is on a Monday. That will be after that.
17th, April 17th.
Okay, April 17th.
Oh, April the 17th.
It's Easter Sunday. Johnny, that's Easter Sunday.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so we may not have a Crew Bar on Easter Sunday.
Oh, okay.
No.
So much for that.
Well, I'm not going to be available because I'm going to be boarding the ship in Tampa.
Oh,
and,
okay.
Well, we can discuss it, but
yeah, we'll discuss it.
I'll be on the rivers then that weekend, the Easter.
Yeah, it's going to be a problem. Yeah.
But look, it's not all Johnny. It's not all about us. It's about everybody.
We can do one on Messenger.
You won't be on the rivers on April the 17th.
Yeah.
You will?
I'm not sure.
You get Charlie.
Good evening, all.
Who's that? Charlie. Charlie, we got your weather report. That's all we needed.
Yeah, lovely.
Okay, right. We'll see you next week then. Thanks.
No problem.
Bye. He's staying. Oh, good. All the way from Bermuda. Marvelous.
Is Charlie the famous Charlie Chicken?
No.
Oh, okay.
Hey, we must get hold of Charlie Chicken again.
Yeah, he was on, Ray. He was on long time ago. Yeah,
we will do. Anyway, Charlie in Bermuda, yes, again, you look as good as ever. Are you all right?
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Must be the drugs.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It always was.
Liverpool just scored.
Scored.
Yeah, I'm about 10 seconds behind you, Gizzy. Thanks.
There's no surprise there.
No. That's all right. Yes. Yeah.
Hang on.
That's all right. Pete, Pat will probably be in a minute to tell us that they've scored.
There's no VAR here either.
Yeah.
They don't have VAR, do they?
No VAR. Yeah.
No VAR. Not in this game.
Peter
Who's
Stevens.
disappeared?
Peter Stevens.
Yes.
You look very cool in your suntan glasses just then.
He's offside, actually, Steve.
Suntan
He's
glasses.
offside.
He looks it, yes.
Okay.
Wait for the
I've had to
punchline.
take him off.
He's offside. He's bloody offside.
He is, yeah.
All right. All right.
But
That's the way it
Peter,
is.
You look very
Yes,
cool
Tab.
with your sunglasses. You look very cool with your sunglasses on, but tell the makeup you need more up here.
Hang on.
You need makeup on top of your head. You got the lighting all wrong.
Yeah,
The
very
BBC is
shiny.
going downhill.
It's the camera angle. Not
The,
normally.
the Wi-Fi is playing up tough. I'm only getting half of you.
He's got
It's
a
tough.
glare. There's a glare.
Maybe that's a good thing.
Actually, Taffy, it's our anchorman's job to inform people if they're in the wrong position.
All
Well,
right.
Look, I've been told about this football, and we've got there's a lot happening in,
Stevie's on.
in these recording studios. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's in the wrong position?
Well, it was Pete who was showing his top of his head, but he's okay. He's all right.
Pete, you look great. You look great, Pete.
Yeah,
Look,
but I think
he's frozen in a good position now. Very good.
He is frozen, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And Sachary's got issues. Ray, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
No, it's all right. When it came on to about football, Ray got bored and he started playing Sudoku.
I got to tell you, I think it's probably because I lived in Canada too long. I actually, half the time, I think I need a translator from the seagoing chat because I haven't got a clue what you guys are talking about. And I'm already an idiot when it comes to sports, so it's probably because of that, right?
I don't know nothing about sport.
And if it's sport with Campolari, you're absolutely scuppered.
Hopeless.
Dear.
Yeah.
Hey, no. Well, obviously, again, have you seen Seamus this week?
I didn't see him, but I heard him.
That was probably better. And was he all good?
Yeah, he was fine. He was out at a friend's house last night watching the match. I couldn't go because my daughter's birthday. And he told me he doesn't remember going home last night.
Oh, good. That's
the only thing, but he enjoyed himself.
And Taffy, when do you go over to Ireland?
1st of May.
1st of May. Are you aware of that now, Noel?
I'm well aware of it. Seamus and Taffy are the two men who are organising Taffy's trip.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I worry about both of them.
Yeah, I think so.
I know, and they're going to meet us in Dublin, and my wife's going to kill me if she doesn't see any part of Dublin.
The only thing to see in Dublin, John, is pubs.
No, she told me if she's stuck in a pub for 5 hours, I'm dead.
Yeah. John, let me calm you down because I can't sit in a pub for 5 hours either.
No.
As you may know by now, but what I'm looking at and what I want you to have a look at yourself, how about an open top bus tour? That's got to be good for a crowd like us.
It's well worth it, Taffy. I did it a few years back.
Yeah. All of us together on the top of an open top bus.
Some great museums, John, and they're all book she over here. You don't have to pay with any of them.
That's very kind of you.
Okay, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, no, it sounds good. What date are you going to be there, Colonel?
The 9th of May.
And you're going on the 2nd of May.
I just want to mention.
How long are you there for? I'm over on the 16th of May in Ireland. Hopefully.
It's the end of our transatlantic, so we're going to Belfast and then Dublin and then someplace else. But yeah, it's just for a few hours, so it's kind of a bit.
Oh, right, gotcha. Yeah.
Right. Well,
Seamus gave me a tip on Saturday for the Cheltenham races.
I hope you didn't take it up on him.
I gave it to my brother because he's a mad gambler. I don't gamble anymore, but he's a mad gambler. I gave it to my brother. It was in the last race at Cheltenham. There were 37 runners. It was 100 to 1, and it was the only horse that fell. One horse fell out of 37 horses, and it was Seamus's tip.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
hey,
I don't. Yes, sorry.
No, it's fine. Oh, hang on. Oh, look, we got Alan coming in.
Alice is coming in.
Yeah, hang on. I better change my backdrop immediately. Hang on. Where is it? Where is it? There we go. That's better. Where's Alan? He's got his gang in as well. That's all right. Good.
There he is. Mistaken. Sorry, mate.
My camera's gone wonky.
Very nice.
That's a very drab-looking wardrobe, Alan.
Yeah.
That's very drab-looking.
Not very flattering.
That's his Friday night gear.
You've definitely changed the drag behind you, Alan. It's not the same drag, is it?
That's not my fault. There's been problems in the Bacon household of she's been to the doctor.
Penalty.
Oh,
penalty.
Oh, hang on. Do you mind? We got Alan all the way from his drag locker, and you're talking penalties, Steve, and this is not very professional.
Oh, not football again.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Didn't touch him, Steve.
So,
didn't touch him.
Alan, is that right? You've got David coming over to watch a week's worth of cricket soon.
We don't actually watch a great deal of cricket.
Oh, Fruity, it's croquet.
It's a match every day, but because we sit in the marquee and have a 4-course lunch.
Right.
Yeah, he didn't touch him. His foot touched his arm.
Yeah.
Fruity never mentioned that this morning.
Oh, didn't he?
He just said because he's now become
never touched anybody's arm.
He's the crew bar.
Did you say
sports editor? See, because of the love of sport, you see.
No, it's a really lovely week.
He said it was netball.
When's that coming up, Alan?
It normally starts on the first Sunday of August.
Right.
Then it goes on, but because the first Sunday this year actually is on a Tuesday or something like that, so it might be sort of a bit earlier, a bit later. I'll have to nip down there and get the dates so I can tell Dave exactly what's happening.
Brilliant.
Sorry, did Dave tell you?
Actually, what we could do as well, we could get Peter Motion to do a quick thing for the crew bar, couldn't we, Al?
Could do, yeah.
Because he's normally there.
He is, yeah.
And of course, he's a friend of all of us, isn't he?
Absolutely.
Whoa. Is he in his 80s? How old is he?
Oh, yeah, got to be.
Yeah.
Christ.
I should think he's near his 90s, I should think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we can get him in the crew bar and talk about handbag.
Well, you could get him on there and tell us why he got rid of us all.
Bonus, I suppose.
Ray Pritchard won't speak to him.
No. Did Dave tell you about? I saw Ray Pritchard that he got his notification of off the ferry the day he got home. He left the ferry on the Thursday night.
After his shift.
Yeah, after his week on, and he got a notification through the telly that he'd been sacked, and his son as well. His son was on the private Canterbury, and he'd been sacked as well.
Yeah.
Well, Ollie's ship was on. Old ship was on the main news last week, wasn't it, Ollie?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were there doing a standoff up in Hull.
In Hull, yeah.
Yeah.
I got a funny feeling because it said, I tracked it today. It said that the Pride of Rotterdam is still sailing, but that's under the Dutch.
Yeah, it's under the Dutch flag.
Dutch flag, yeah. Because do you remember? Oh, what's his name? Tony
Foxy Fowler.
Fowler, yeah. Foxy Fowler comes under that Dutch flag, and he pensioned from the Dutch government now because he's been on there so long. But apparently that's still running, so that must be under the Dutch have said no, you don't, and that's it.
Does anybody know if the people on the P&O ferries are they still in the P&O pension scheme? Do anybody know?
No, what happened was when the Merchant Navy one finished, they started a new one in about 2000. P&O started a new pension fund. Well, that's to do with P&O pension itself, but they did start a new one in the year 2000.
Well, I'm still in the original one.
Yeah, you would be. But the original Merchant Navy one got closed.
Yeah.
Right. And so what
I'm
they did,
talking about the P&O one.
Yeah, but
okay.
John, there weren't many people in the P&O pension scheme. Most of us are in the Merchant Navy pension scheme.
Yeah.
Hilda, it was only you and Peter Motion in that particular P&O pension.
Yeah. So we all know where the handbag went.
And Stan.
And Stan.
Yeah.
The three-way handbag.
And Pratty would be in it as well.
Do you think he was in that one?
No, he'd be in the officers one.
I think
that was the officers one. There's just the one. This is the one I'm in.
No, right.
Well,
I thought that was the officers and airline pilots pension.
Well, no, I don't know about captains, but pursers and whatever was all in the same pension. It was all P&O officers' pension. And when you, I mean, I wasn't an officer, only a petty officer. But when you got to the 3 silver stripes, you went into the P&O officers' pension scheme, and I got Chief Baker, which was 3 stripes in, I think I was 24, and I automatically went into the P&O pension scheme then. That was in 1966, I think it was.
Right.
At that time, I thought, what am I doing paying a pension when I was 24? But my God, am I pleased I did.
Yeah.
So John, you don't get a Merchant Navy pension then?
No.
Right.
Okay, guys, I'm leaving. I have to go to see my family, okay?
Oh, I thought Angelo was going to say, I've got my finance.
Cheers, Angelo.
Later.
Bye.
Ciao, bello.
Ciao, Angelo.
Cheers,
Ciao,
baby. Lovely.
Bye.
Lovely. Bye, Angelo.
Oh, he happens to hold me.
Yeah, so that's part of the West Coast. You're nearly on your own now, Colonel, on the south of the border. North of the border, you've still got Zachary, but you're getting a bit lonely out there.
Yeah.
You're not going to go back to bed again like you did this morning, are you?
It was almost 3 o'clock in the morning there, so give me a break.
Yes. Well, only asked.
By the way, John, the clocks change here next week.
Yeah, I know. We'll be back to normal. Yeah, I know.
Stevie Watts gets up at all times of the day and night.
Yeah. It's a medical condition.
Yeah. I do the same after a few cold boots.
On a Friday night, I'm the same.
I'm the same every night. I get up 2 or 3 times.
Stevie Watts is still on holiday at the moment with his family.
Yeah.
They probably don't have Wi-Fi in an Australian bed and breakfast.
Yeah, probably
Hey,
not.
by the way,
All right, Colonel.
I didn't mention to the Aussies that there might not be no crew bar next time.
What in 2 weeks' time?
Yeah.
Well, no, it's not. It's not 2 weeks' time on Easter Sunday.
Oh no, sorry, no, it isn't. Sorry, I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm getting my dates mixed up. Sorry.
Yeah.
The Walker.
Yeah, because Zachary, believe it or not, the crew bar does operate around certain bank holidays of the year.
What?
Very few, but some. Yeah.
That's okay. That's good.
Yeah.
I thought you'd have it on a cruise on a bank holiday, then you can have more to drink.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, that was like a guy here. He was an auctioneer. He was a bit of a crook, a bit of a del boy. And there was a nice pub. This is going back a good few years. A nice pub for sale in Athlone, in our town. Now, in them days, you could get a 7-day license or a 6-day license. Some pubs would be closed on a Sunday. But the sold this guy anyhow. He was an Englishman, came over here, and he bought his pub. He just wanted a nice family pub. So he was in it anyhow, and he was trading away, and suddenly the police came in one Sunday and said that you're breaking the law. He said, what do you mean I'm breaking the law? I bought the pub and paid for it. He said, well, this pub has only got a 6-day license. You're not allowed to open on a Sunday. So anyhow, he went back to the auctioneer and he said, well, you done me. He said, you conned me. He said, the police were in and they closed me down last Sunday. I've only got a 6-day license. And the auctioneer says back to him, he said, who'd want to work on a Sunday anyhow?
Yeah.
That's like the crew bar closing down for bank holiday weekends.
Oh God, yeah, very good. Very good. Hey, now, Salty Sea Dog, as far as the photo behind you this time, is that I can see
it's Pacific Princess.
Pacific now, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
So, how long was your stint on there then?
Not very long, because I was mainly on Island Princess, but I went over for the first inaugural cruise on Pacific Princess, and then I went back again later when she went down to Australia.
Right.
But I was mainly on Island Princess. Yeah.
So you were on with Gizzy. You were there for the Pacific, weren't you?
Yeah. I did the maiden voyage and the Aussie season. The Aussie season was fun, although the weather was awful.
Yeah, it was very rough, wasn't it, Gizzy, at times?
Yes, yeah. I can remember the night they didn't shut the deadlights on the carousel lounge and about 3 windows shattered. Do you remember that going across to New Zealand?
I don't remember that night, no.
Yeah.
I don't.
We came up in the morning and the carousel was flooded.
I remember that. It was I joined there after that happened.
Yeah.
It smelt of damp carpet for weeks.
Yeah. The water came over the wave came over the stern.
Came over the bow and they hadn't shut the deadlights, had these huge.
Oh, was it?
Huge, massive
on one of
steel doors. They hadn't
ships,
closed them. Sorry?
On one of them, Pacific or Island, the rear windows got taken out.
I think that was the island.
Yeah.
Was it the island? What was that lounge for? I can't remember. It wasn't Riviera, was it?
Caribe Lounge, wasn't it?
Caribe Lounge, yeah.
It was a Riviera bar on the PP.
Yeah. It's funny how after you've worked on all these different ships, the lounges kind of get mixed up for me anyway. But I'll never.
No, it was a Pacific bar, wasn't it, on the PP?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
But what was the island got renamed another name? Because I've been on her when she was another name after she was the Island Princess. Anyone think what she was called?
Discovery, was it Discovery?
Yes.
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
There's a picture on Facebook on it the other day.
Oh, what, is she still alive and well?
No.
Long gone.
Yeah.
Cruise and Maritime she was with.
Yeah, and then she went over to Quail, a company called Quail Cruises, I think, but I can't remember what she was called when she was with Quail.
Yeah, I saw her in Liverpool once.
Yeah.
Yeah, as the Discovery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But when I was on with obviously on Hebridean Princess, Mike Deegan, who was the MD at the time, had been on P&O as a purser, and he said to me, he said, Dave, do you mind going over to the Discovery, which was part of the company at the time, to do a bit of upselling for the bar drinks? Because he said the bar sales on our ship, it was all inclusive, but on there it was all chargeable. So he said, would you go over there for a trip? And I went over, and it was going to be doing around by the pyramids and down to, oh crikey, Alexis Magna, you know, all that area, you know. So I flew out and I started doing a bit of training from what the selling procedures we did on the ferries to, you know, to upsell. And every time we got into port, the bars were flipping closed. You weren't allowed to sell any drinks, you know, and Lexus Magna and, you know, all around that area, you couldn't have the bars open. A bit like, you know, when we had up in Canada, you couldn't sell the bars. You had the customs coming on, didn't we? Up in Vancouver sometimes, and we couldn't sell drinks at some stuff.
Yeah, you have to switch over to a different stock.
Yes, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, of course, when I got back home, Mike, the MD, contacted me. He said, Dave, he said, look, you went on there to upsell, and he said that cruise you were on, they sold less alcohol than they do on normal cruising. And he said, what are you doing? I said, well, he said, but I said, it's not my fault. I said, every flipping day we were well closed. He said, that's a poor excuse. He said, but I'll take it. I'll take it.
You know, talking of that, Dave, Alan, you might remember, and John, you might, on the line voyages, when we used to get to Cape Town and Durban, we used to have a separate price list while we were in port with South African tax on it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I found an old price list the other day with the price of the drinks in Cape Town with the tax on. While you were in Cape Town, you could buy drinks, but you had to charge extra to pay the customs.
Yeah. Actually, how much of that did the customs get, Gizzy?
No, I don't know, Steve. I just charged what it was on the price list.
Actually, Izzy, it's not so long ago.
And I used to put a bit on just in case it was a mistake.
It's not so long ago when I did a couple of cruises with P&O that if you were in Spanish ports, they did the same then.
They might have done, yeah. I don't actually remember that, but certainly South Africa. I found a price list the other day with the import tax on it.
Yeah, but this is only about 4 or 5 years ago.
Right.
When I was in the main bar in Canberra, I'd have to get when the customs come on board to seal. Used to seal the lockers and seal all the bond rooms and all that, you know. But you go down, especially Greece or anywhere Turkey like that, you go down with the customs officers, and we used to call. I remember Fred Alderson said to me, "Don't forget the Marlborough dance." I don't know what he was talking about. And the Marlborough dance was the customs guys came down to seal up the bars or the storerooms, and they had to get like 400 soft packed Marlborough each, but they used to dance on them and put them on the belt of their tunics and putting up their tunics again and said, okay, you can open A and you can close B, and away they went. And we used to call, here's the guys for the Marlborough dance. And they all got 400 Marlborough soft pack and they just walked on them. So, yeah.
It's a Mexican cruise in Noel.
Yeah, anywhere it was Spanish or Portuguese or anything. And of course, the other gun was in Southampton when all the custom officers came in. They had to get breakfast in the morning, and they put their hats. They put their hats on a table or something going in for breakfast, and their tunics. So we used to change all the hats around.
A similar thing used to happen in Naples. I had to take the customs down in Naples on Oriana and down into the cigarette locker, and they got down there and took off their uniforms, and underneath they had like a combination, you know, the old comms, and then they used to stack the cigarettes all around their body and put the uniforms back on. And then one trip we were there and they went down, they didn't take any cigarettes. And I went back to the DP, who was Barry Mulder at the time, and said, something's really wrong today. They haven't taken any cigarettes. And then sure enough, about half an hour later, Chief of Customs walked on board. And what did he do? Straight down to the bond room and loaded up with cigars.
I also remember Mediterranean cruising. Can you remember the Italian ports? They were obsessed with matches. We used to do have to do on the manifest how many boxes of matches we got. Can anybody remember that?
No, really?
They were absolutely obsessed with matches.
Yeah.
What you mean? Those little little flick books? Yeah.
Yes, you used to have to. You know, when you did your manifest for your cigarettes and stuff behind the bar, you used to have to put matches on it. Can you not remember that?
Yeah.
Telephone.
There used to be a bar we went to in Naples, and we'd take 2 or 3 packets of cigarettes with us and give them to the guy in the bar, and he'd just give us beer all afternoon.
Really?
Yeah. Between us, we had about 400 cigs, you know what I mean? 400 cigarettes.
Yeah.
And,
Was anybody here the first time we went to Portland? We went to Portland in Oregon. I was a bellboy at the time.
That's right.
And they set up 2 gangways at the bow and the stern, and we had like thousands of people came on. Like there was no control. The ship filled up with people. The bars did a roaring trade, and I was as a bellboy. I was sent to one of the gangways with empty racks, and I had to take the glasses off the people as they were leaving. And I remember some of you guys, I think we were in there overnight or something, and you went there. There used to be a disco there called Earthquake Annie's or something like this, where they had a dance floor that quaked because it's near Mount St. Helens, and they used to get earthquakes there before Mount St. Helens erupted. Does anybody remember that?
I can remember a bit. Was that on the Sunray?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember going to Portland, but I never got ashore there. I think I was working the Starlight or somewhere, but I didn't get ashore
like
there.
a marquee on a lawn, wasn't it? Was the
the
terminal?
We tied up along like a grassy park.
Yeah,
in the river.
We were the first cruise ship to go up there.
The first cruise ship. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
I got ashore. I think I got ashore with Fraser. I think, if I remember.
Well, if you went ashore with Fraser, you wouldn't have remembered coming back.
I know.
But that was why Steve on the Channel 4 News, we had the helicopter coverage of the Sun Princess, because it was the first time a cruise ship had docked in the what's his name?
Yeah. And up the river.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice little ship, that Sun Princess.
Yeah.
Very nice ship.
Yeah.
You did a couple of stints on there, didn't you, Alan?
That was my first one. I think I lasted about a month, I think. And they flew me back to Australia.
Directly?
Yeah. No, it was just Marion Taylor. The office asked me to do a favour. There was a month. But didn't have a bar.
Quiet, everyone.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Quiet for what?
I flew out with Mr. Walker, actually, enjoying it.
That's correct, yeah.
So,
didn't you do the restaurant bar, Alan?
The restaurant, yeah. And then I done 2 weeks, no, 1 week in there, and then I done another week up in the one at the top with Pete the Feet.
Starlight.
Oh, Pete the Feet.
Yeah, Pete built me and Pete built. And then
is anybody in touch with Pete?
No, I haven't.
I can get in touch with him, but he's very elusive.
Is he? I'd like to.
We had him on the phone, didn't we? We had him on the phone.
Tracy got.
That's
Tracy
right.
Yeah,
Tracy Parker, wasn't it, when she was pissed?
Yeah.
I've got him on my messenger list, but I've messaged him a couple of times, but I never seem to get a reply. But he's not far from me. He's in Melton Mowbray, I think.
I'd really like to get in touch with him. He's called Pete the Feet because the Colonel, and maybe Colonel still has the footage, in one of his Channel 4 shows, he did this clip. There was an empty dance floor, and the camera slowly pans up. Do you remember this, John? The camera slowly pans up, and there's this guy. There's these feet doing this amazing dancing, and the camera, and you see the dancing for a few minutes, and then the camera pans back, and there's Pete with his big grin.
Yeah, it might have been a Diamond Jim Benison production, because remember, even though I get credit for all the Channel 4, that was basically, it was Diamond Jim's equipment which we used, and he did a lot of video. And
I remember Diamond Jim and Billy Vader. He's another one. I'm not sure if Billy Vader's still around. They did a duet up in the Starlight Lounge where they sang I can't remember the name of the song, but it's like you used to say. It was like a romantic duet, and they were facing each other, and they sang "You Used to Say You Love Me," and they were almost like they were in love. And at the very end of the song, they both reached over and pulled each other's wig off because they both wore wigs.
Yeah, we've discussed Billy Vader for over and over in the crew bar, Ray, and it appears that what I think Caveman or Kit Williams told or somebody, or maybe Chris Chapman, that he may have dementia, and in the last Facebook post he had is from at least 10 years ago. So yeah,
he's still got a Facebook site, but nothing happens on it.
Yeah.
It's nice to be on the first broadcast of the video sign.
Well, Billy, in the future programs, we will probably have more time to interview you about your own career. Yeah. But as this prime time at 6 in the evening is costing us a fortune, you're here just to read this poem, which is sent in by Dolly Parton?
By Dolly Parton, better known as the nursing sister.
Well, Billy, we're waiting to hear this poem.
Okay, this poem is to you, John, and to your team on your success. It says, to the success of your show, we branch out in verse. Excitingly professional, we need no, not rehearse, I blew it.
Okay, never mind, Billy, let's just try it again.
Okay.
See, I must explain, this is a live broadcast, and just a very few minutes ago, I gave this on Billy.
That's right.
So, you know, let's
and as you all know, I can't read. There's only one thing kept me out of college. That was high school. You have to go there. To the success of your show, we branch out in verse. Excitingly professional. No need to rehearse. You zoom into a close-up. We see all the spots. The thoughts of the scandal just gives us the hots. Your news will be flashing on every screen. We'll take care to remember just where we have been. Full marks for incentive. It's going to be fun. We'll be there to support you on the video side. Signed, Dolly Parton.
Billy,
Alan,
thank you
well,
very
it's
much.
a little bit quiet. Is Miss Munson going to that cricket tournament with you?
I've got to get in touch with him. I'm going to nip up and see him this week. I haven't seen him this year at all yet, so I'll nip up and have a quick chat with him because I'm having trouble getting him booked into a hotel in Southampton because the lowest I can get at the moment is £178 for 2 nights. It's just ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous.
Prices have all gone up this year.
Oh, stupid price.
You're having problems as well, aren't you, Steve?
Well, I got quoted nearly 200 quid for that hotel. What I found,
for 2 nights?
what was the name of that pub I mentioned this morning?
The Grapes.
The Grapes.
Yeah.
Called
Where's this,
the Grapes.
Steve?
Southampton. Pub called the Grapes.
Oxford Street.
It was about just over 100 quid for 2 nights.
Well, that's good. That's good money, isn't it?
Yeah.
With breakfast or not?
It's called the Grapes.
Yeah.
What's
It's
this
not
for,
far-
Steve?
it's not
The
far
P&O
from
reunion?
It's not far from where you're staying, Alan.
No, we're at the travel. Where were we? Oh,
Travel
Lodge.
Travel Lodge. It's for the pensioners' lunch.
Yeah.
The pensioners' lunch.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
When you
staying
went
in
to-
the Ibis again.
Are you?
Right.
Yeah, I think it's 85 quid, I think.
Where you staying, John?
For the 2 nights or 1 night?
I'm only stopping 1 night.
Are you?
Who, me?
Oh,
you
you're not
talking to me?
You're not coming down on the Thursday then, Gizzy?
Yes, coming down on the Thursday and going back Friday.
Good.
All right.
We had
Go back Friday after, after they do about 5:30, I think.
Yeah. We can have a bit of a session on Thursday night anyway.
Oh, yeah.
over the Juniper Berry, no doubt.
Of course.
Yeah.
We met there last time, didn't we?
Yeah.
I tell you what Dave and me done last time we were down there, not for the pensioners. We went down in October for the bureau staff but we ended up in the Red Lion, and what a meal you can get there. Really, really good home cooked food, unbelievable.
Magnificent Sunday lunch, wasn't it?
Oh, it was really great. So I'm thinking about going there on that Thursday night. You know.
In fact, to use a term, it was Bonajari.
Oh.
Hilda, talking about Bonajari, and I really should be. I know we're almost out of time, but I got to ask. I've been dying to ask this for the last few weeks, and I shouldn't be asking you because I know that your specialty was cakes and baking and things like this. But I've craved for years and years and years the Goanese beef curry that they used to make in the chow pot. Yeah.
Well, I've got a recipe, but I mean, there was never a recipe for it. It's whatever they could lay their hands on, what's laying about, really.
Do you have a recipe? Because
but I've got a recipe I worked out some years ago, because when Pratty came out to Goa, and he came, this is not where I am now, but when I was managing a hotel there, and he said, "Is any chance of making a chow pot like we used to have on the ships?" So I worked a recipe out then. I've since have made it so it could be used anywhere, actually. And Mike Carr wanted one, Captain Carr, so I sent him one. I believe he got his Indian restaurant to make it up for him. So I hear.
Are you able to share it? Because I would love that.
Yeah. What do you want me to do? Put it on the.
Either way, you can email it to me. I'm sure there's other people there. Dave's giving you a big thumbs up, so there's probably other people that would like it.
Yeah, if send me your email address, and I'll send one on to you. Or if you're on WhatsApp, I can put it on WhatsApp.
Yeah, well, I'm on WhatsApp. Yeah.
Yeah, put it on the
we used to finish in the Starlight Lounge and go down to the Goanese mess and climb over the hot press, and there was always a big, giant saucepan there with a couple of inches left in the bottom. And it always had a skin on it because it had sat there and kind of dried out. And we'd go to the bakery and get fresh bread rolls and scrape that stuff off the bottom of the pan. And it was like the best thing ever.
Well, I think
you just admitted you just admitted that you're the one who was nicking the bread rolls.
Yes.
In actual fact, when I did the first recipe out, I think it ended up and then go to the baker shop and mind that grumpy old baker and pinch some of his rolls. I think was.
I should explain something. That due to the time difference, one of my job assignments, which I don't mind doing, is cooking lunch for Cindy and myself. And of course, that's why I've been popping up and down, because I'm doing lunch at the same time. So I apologize for my coming and going.
I've just checked that
we never even missed
£69 for the night.
69.
Who's that, Charlie?
Is that the one down the front, Jim?
Yeah, next door to right next door to where we have the do.
What's it called? The Ibis.
The Ibis.
Yeah, you were there last year, weren't you, Pete?
Yeah.
Yeah, 69 quid it's costing us this year.
Yeah, which Ibis?
The Ibis.
Yeah, but which one?
Yeah,
the Ibis Express or the Ibis, because there's two.
Well, the one right next door to where the lunch is.
Yeah.
No, they're both there. They're both on the same site. One is cheaper than the other.
Right.
It's the one that's on the right of the hotel where the lunch is.
Yeah, that's the expensive one. Not the expensive one, but not the express.
Yeah, the Ibis Express is on the left as you drive into the car park.
Yeah,
and that's
the one on the right.
That is very basic.
That's right, yeah.
Was that you say £69 a night?
Yeah.
I'll tell Munson that. So, yeah.
So going
there was just quite a few in there. Pete was there last year. I saw Mike Gold and one or two others. They all stayed there.
Yeah, I've seen him in there. We've stayed there a couple of times, Dave.
Yeah. All we want is a bed and a shower, because we don't spend any time in the room at all. And
it's a very nice place to stay if your mate goes out and gets KFC for you.
I'd sooner eat at Wetherspoons.
That was all right.
That's what we did.
When he comes back, you've locked your door and crashed.
Marvelous.
That was. I think that was down at Portsmouth when we went and saw Nigel.
It was Southampton.
Oh, was it? I know.
Yeah,
we saw Nigel Phillips down in Portsmouth. We stayed at that old Seafarers Club, and I went to say goodbye to in the cab, and Dave was sitting in the hall, and I said, "Come on, Dave, let's get to bed." And he went, "Who are you?" And I went, it's Bacon. And he went, fuck off, I don't know you. And he wouldn't let me go anywhere near him. And I had to pick him up virtually, just take him to his room and throw him through the door. And when I said to him the following, he went, I know what you're talking about. Never even knew who I was. I've only known him for 40 years.
Brucey.
That just sounds like a normal night on the ship.
I just got taken out and got wrecked by him and bloody Nigel Phillips.
Yeah, good night. Really good night.
Must have been.
Dave, you were going to say something else about chow pot.
Well, only about the chow pot. If you put the recipe up on the Seafarers, Hilda, we'll buy all the ingredients and we'll do a cookery program in next week with you. You can be, like Saturday morning cookery, kitchen. It'll be a Sunday night crew bar.
Yeah.
Offer a takeaway service, Dave. Makes the man back.
Do is make a load of bread rolls. Just make a load of bread rolls.
Yeah, I'll try and put it on tomorrow. I made my first batch of cross buns today.
Oh, very good.
Very tasty.
Yeah.
Every time I ask my Barry, who used to go and pick up the chow pot for us for the night time, who made this? So you'll have to be the other man.
Other man, Bobber. Charlie,
I never could find the other man, and I looked.
Charlie, have you had some good memories of chow pot in your tour?
Most definitely. I worked in the meat department, so we was one of their first drop-offs when they wanted the ingredients.
Absolutely, yeah. Definitely.
I remember eating it. I remember that it was so spicy you could barely eat it, and yet you always persevered.
There's no curry powder in it. Is that right, John?
Yeah. Chilies, I think.
It's all chili. There's no curry in it at all, is there? No curry powder or anything like that?
Well, there was, if they could get their hands on it. I mean, as I said, it was whatever was laying around that they would nick.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the favourite things was cloves, cinnamon. I always was losing these from the locker. Curry powder, tomato sauce, HP sauce, Worcester sauce. It all went in the chow pot.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Oh, Hilda, this morning on the crew bar down in Aussie, Ralph, the chef, was mentioned in the conversation. There was a photo.
Ralph Heron.
Which Ralph was that? The German one, or the one that was a larder cook that I knew?
Ralph Heron. Brighton. Ralph Heron.
Yeah.
I think he was on. Was it Oriana? I think I knew him. Tall, thin guy.
Yes.
Yeah, he was on Canberra as well, John.
Himalaya. I worked with him on the Himalaya, I think.
Yeah, he had a scar on his face.
Yes, he did.
I think he was a third chef.
On his forehead.
I think first of all he was a larder cook, then he was a third chef the last time I soured with him.
Yeah. Well, he went on to the ferries, didn't he, Ollie?
He's what?
We knew him on the ferries. Did you sail with him, Ralph?
Oh, did he go to the ferries? Did he? I didn't know that.
Yes, he did.
Who's that?
Ralph.
Ralph, yeah. Yeah, he passed away a couple of years ago, didn't he?
Oh, did he?
Yeah. You know he had that wonky eye?
Yeah, oh yes, he did. Yeah, he had a bit of a
You
pink.
didn't know what to look at him, did you?
Has he passed away? Is he this Ralph?
Yeah. Well, what happened was, apparently, he went to a doctor, and the doctor said, we can fix that eye for you. And he fixed it. So his eyes were straight, and a month later, he passed away.
Oh.
Do you remember Bob Roper, the chef on the Canberra?
Name rings a bell. What was he?
Chef. He was, Rolf and him were like big buddies together. He came on.
I remember the name.
Yeah, he came on.
The name rings a bell, but I can't put a face to it or whatever.
Yeah.
But one of the saddest things that ever occurred for me while I was at sea was, do you guys remember Rudy Droog, the night watchman?
Yeah.
Yeah, the day he left the ship retiring for good, he stayed in the hotel by the Hobby Nobby coffee shop. And then the next morning when when the crew bus came to take everybody, he wasn't there, and they went to check on him, and he died in the night.
He died, had he? Sorry, I missed it. What do you say, Dave? He passed away?
Yeah, on the night after he left the ship, he was finally retiring. I don't know how old he was, but he died in the hotel up by the Hobby Nobby in San Pedro, like that night.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
I must have been on the Sun then.
Yeah,
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey,
But what a character he was. I still have a watch that I bought from him when I was 18 years old.
Yeah, we used to, anything you wanted, he would get it.
work.
And Sammy tried to stop him doing it. He said it was illegal to do it on ships, to run a business like that. But I didn't. I think that was another argument that Sammy lost, I think.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely. Hey, now, boys, I've had a message through, and the traffic lights have had to come out. Obviously, they've gone to amber, and they're making their way up onto the red. But Dave, Fruity, would you be kind enough just to give us an update for the Oscar story for this week, please?
Yes, we've got rid of the Orient line. It sank. So we've got an old type Oscar towel tonight called the boiled egg towel.
Oh, right. Oh, that's going to be intriguing. That'll be very nice. That's following on after this recording?
It is indeed. The
Is
Colonel's
that
got
3
it
minutes
already.
or 30-minute egg?
It's
No,
definitely probably a 15-minute egg.
It's a 3-minute egg, John.
Yeah, I know it is. But
Is it a soft boiled? Is it a soft boiled?
It's as soft boiled as you want it.
Just so I'm.
Zachary's brought his boiled egg in already.
Yeah, I brought this is a Canadian boiled egg. See,
It looks very similar to Oscar's.
Yeah.
Oh, I've not seen Oscar's eggs.
You'll be in for a surprise. Right, but now, obviously, before we leave, we do have to do our usual, and that will be start waving again in unison, and Colonel will play yet again that wonderful, wonderful rendition, won't you, Colonel?
Yes, Dave.
Yes.
With a bit more enthusiasm, Colonel.
And if you just log yourselves off, we'll see you next week.
Well, start waving.
All right.
Okay.
Cheers,
If I don't
everyone.
get up next
bye,
week, guys,
bye.
it's because of the time distance.
All right. Cheers, Gizzy.
All
All
right.
the best anyway. Take
Thank
All
you
right,
very
enjoy
much.
yourself.
Hello, everyone. This is Oscar from Ollie's Pocket with Oscar Tales. More Mazatlan tales. When I first got the rented apartment in Mazatlan, where I went to on leave for 9 years, I had to get to know many different ways of doing things. My roommate, Carlos, sometimes puzzled me with his Mexican cooking and eating habits. Take, for instance, the boiled egg tale. Now, we all know how to cook a boiled egg. The famous 3-minute egg with a runny yolk and firmly cooked white of egg. Carlos did the same in the saucepan one breakfast, and while he did it, I made toast enough for the two of us and buttered it and cut it into soldiers. "What are you doing, Alan?" said Carlos. "Chopping all the toast to pieces?" "I am making soldiers to dip the egg in," I said. "And tell me, which cupboard do you keep your egg cups in?" In a puzzled voice, Carlos asked, "What do you mean, egg cups?" Meanwhile, I am rummaging around in various cupboards, looking for anything that remotely looks like egg cups, and not finding any. I'm about to repeat my question when a practical demonstration occurred. As Carlos places 2 teacups on the table and, fishing the cooked eggs out of the pan, removes the tops and scoops 2 perfectly boiled eggs into each cup, adds a sprinkle of salt and pepper, and then takes a fork and mashes all the contents together. He then hands a by now almost speechless Oscar a cup and says, "Here is your egg cup," and then added for clarity, "This is how we do boiled eggs in Mexico," and then added, "And we do not mess up the toast that way." Before my next leave, in San Pedro, Los Angeles, I managed to acquire 4 egg cups and with a great flourish presented them to Carlos on the first day of my next leave, which was about 4 months later. He was less than impressed and registered his disapproval of this British quirk of cooking by refusing ever to do boiled eggs by any other method than the Mexican way. Talking to my friend Terry Burgess, he was ex-P&O Princess ships Oriana, Arcadia, and Pacific Princess, and who lived in Mexico City, and he was an English teacher and translator. I found he had gone through the same thing, and like me, had managed to acquire an egg cup. I later got him some more egg cups from England, along with other things he missed. They were Marmite, orange marmalade, Heinz baked beans, Bisto gravy powder, and English chocolate. The last I found strange, as the Aztecs in Mexico was where chocolate was first used and later discovered by the conquistadors. Even stranger was that the chocolate was for his roommate, Gamaro Hiron, and his crew member, ex-Pacific Princess. And he was Mexican, but preferred English chocolate. Another thing I found strange in the apartment was why Carlos never used the oven. Everything he made was on the stove top, and usually in a frying pan. Whenever I cooked and wanted to use the oven, I had to remove a load of pots and pans, tins and cooking utensils. The oven was a storage place and never used for cooking. Not only that, he did not have the idea of how to cook in an oven or even light it. I told him one day, after seeing the same thing in many houses, "Carlos, you and many of your Mexican friends would starve to death if someone stole your frying pan." About 4 years ago, I was staying with Gamaro Hiron for the 4 winter months to escape the winter cold in England at his Mexico City apartment. We had previously been invited by his cousin Zelade and her husband Alexander to their house at Texcoco, about an hour's drive from Mexico City, for a meal. To return the favour, I said I would do an English Sunday dinner for them the next time we visited. We duly purchased a pork joint, vegetables and potatoes, and went on over in Gamaro's Volkswagen car to Texcoco. I took an extra sweater, as that house was the coldest house I have ever been in Mexico, even in the daytime. Though I should explain that at 10,000 feet, Mexico City in winter, in December and January, has a nighttime temperature of about 6 degrees centigrade and a daytime of about 20 or 22 degrees centigrade. And most houses do not have heating. After the greetings, I was shown into the kitchen, and there was a large top-of-the-range oven. And when I opened it, guess what? It was full, crammed to the top with cooking pans, pots, trays, and other strange items. I had to remove them all and put them in the scullery before I could start cooking the dinner. The lady of the house was excited and told me I was the first person to cook in her new oven. Oh, I said, I asked her when she bought it. She said, oh, about 3 years ago. Yes, she was another Mexican who, in spite of having a really super-duper oven, had only ever used it to cook stovetop gas ring dishes. And never once in 3 years was the gas ever lit in the oven. Well, you couldn't after all. It is only used for storage. Oscar should know that. Well, that's all, folks, for this week. From Oscar. Oh, and always remember,